Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 7th grade concept of solving rate problems. This is standard 7.4D in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 17 off the Redesign Practice Online STAAR Test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have a new item type called multiple select, and let's take a look, see how that works. We have to select two correct answers here. So if I select these first two and then try to select a third, you're going to see that I really can't. It only wants you to select two. And then if I try to answer the question and move on with only selecting one, there is going to be an issue. It's going to say you've only selected one. So let's make sure we select both of our answers before we try to move on. So looking at our problem here, we've got percentages, right? Red, green, and blue. And then it actually gives you one of the totals, 90. But that's only the blue, okay? So 60% of the jar is blue marbles, and that actually equals 90, okay? So we can actually use that to figure out how many green and red there are. So there's two different ways we can do that. First, we can actually make a proportion, right? So let's say this blue is 60%, right? So 60% is actually equal to 60 hundredths, which if we put in fractional form, now we're getting into proportion. So that's the 60 blue over the 100 total. So it looks like I've got 90 blue in there over my unknown question mark total, all right? So we could do a little cross multiplication here, right? So 60 times my unknown equals 90 times my 100, right? And so we're going to do, let's see, 60 times my unknown equals 90 times two zeros. There we go, 9,000. Let's drop a zero off of each. So I'm going to end up having 6 times my unknown. So let's divide by 6 for each, right? It goes into 900. So how many times does 6 go into 900? That's going to be 1 0 at a time. That's 15. Looks like that's going to be it for the whole numbers, but I do need to add that extra 0 to make it 150. All right, so it does look like my total is going to be 150, if I want to keep that in mind, right? So I'm seeing that right here on my second one. So I found my 150. That's one that's correct, right? So let's go ahead and figure out how much each of these other ones are, right? So my green, right, since my total is going to be 150, because that ended up going right there, well, I could say 30% of my 150, right? So 30% of my 150, that's going to equal 0.3 of means times. So I'm just going to multiply 150 times 0.3. Let's do that up here. 0.3. And that's going to be 0, 15. It's going to be 345 because I need that extra, so that's going to be 45. And then if I'm going to do 10% of 150, right, that is going to be, just move the decimal over, that's 15. Right, so if we add those three, that is going to get us our 150. Now, I said one way we could have done it would have been this proportion, and it worked. But take a look at another way we could have done it. You see this 60 right here? Let's change this color here so we can look at it a different way. You see this 60? Half of 60 is 30. So you could have taken your 90, cut it in half, and gotten to 45. And then if you take your 30%, divide that by 3, you got your 10%. So divide your 45 by 3, you get your 15%. So either way you do it, the other answer is going to be that final option.